The work around this is reflective of what's happening all around the world, whether it's the FATF or other organisations looking at different parts of how the DLT business works. We've also looked at VASPs and how they should be and can be incorporated. There's a lot of different things happening all of the time, and we've used this COVID period to finish off the update and the refresh of our guidance notes, which is a great step forward.
And as with all other areas of business, has COVID affected the DLT regime much?
In terms of our financial services business generally, the regulator has had more applications in the first period of this year than we had in the first period of last year, which is very interesting. We've got 4 MGA insurance applications, 3 full insurance company applications. We've got AFIM applications, we've got trust and company manager applications. So we've had a lot of interest, and there's a lot of work going on in the FSC, despite them being working from home, processing all these applications, and of course there's also DLT work. In terms of the DLT space, we've certainly used the downtime to accelerate the work we've been doing behind the scenes with the regulator in working on the guidance notes and looking at all the different aspects. We have been working very hard on the travel rule. I mentioned the FATF provisions. We're working on those to provide a Gibraltar solution to the FATF travel rule. We're also working on a gap analysis between VASPs, virtual asset service providers, and our DLT legislative framework. So there's an awful lot of work that's carried on during this period. And of course, the businesses are carrying on in business, subject to the same horrible conditions that the rest of us have had to put up with. But they're carrying on, they're working, and we have been too. And as the guidance notes today reflect, we've been busy.
An EU draft that was leaked suggests that all-encompassing laws for crypto assets are soon to come into effect with the EU. Does this affect Gibraltar's plans moving forward?
The document's been discussed and talked about for a considerable period of time. The leaking, I think, was nothing more than trying to give more publicity in terms of the measures that the European Commission is seeking to implement in this space. It's more of a discussion document than anything else, and it's all about how we raise standards, that many of which we already have in place in Gibraltar in terms of this industry. And nothing in the European Commission ever happens in 2 weeks' time. This is a process, and we will be a part of that process. We are mentioned in the past month, we've joined ENAPTA. We had a discussion with them yesterday morning to look at this piece of news and many other bits of work that we're doing together with them. And we will be engaging with everybody else in Europe, in Brussels, where ENAPTA is based, to see how we respond and how we react, and what bits that they're proposing we think we should or shouldn't adopt, and why not. So there's a lot of work to be done. I don't think anything is quite as simple and cut and thrust as you may have read.
It tends not to be. Looking forward then, if a no-deal Brexit is the situation that we find ourselves in, the technical notice released by the government suggests that movement at the frontier might be impaired significantly. Do you think that this is an area that is not touched by a no-deal Brexit? Do you think that DLT can move forward regardless, or is it something that you would look to work into a bespoke deal?
I think if the technical notice happens and there is no deal and we have the wet stamping of passports at the frontier, it's not just about people popping over for a weekend. It'll impact and affect every single business in Gibraltar, and I think people need to understand that, not just in the DLT space, but in every other space. Whether it's tourism, whether it's gaming, whether it's financial services, the impact is severe. Of course it is. In respect of DLT, it's probably the most insulated of all in terms of how they operate. So we will keep pushing and working very hard to keep invigorating our DLT community, which continues to grow. We've got some good news that we'll be talking about in the coming month with another DLT firm that is going to make a big announcement, and which is going to be very exciting for them and for us as a jurisdiction too. So I remain positive, I remain hopeful, and I remain fully committed to evolving with this community what we can do in Gibraltar for the DLT and the VASP space.
So moving forward, you have said that this will hopefully insulate Gibraltar from the effects of Brexit. I mean, is much of Gibraltar's prospective business in DLT with the EU?
I've said many times before that the bulk of the firms in Gibraltar are all good quality firms from all over the world. So we have from Asia, we have from the Middle East, we have from Latin America, we have from Europe, but they are genuinely from all over the world. And if you look at the list of firms that are licensed in Gibraltar to do this business, that's exactly what you're going to see. So how do you insulate yourself from Brexit? Well, if your business is all over the world, then you will continue, like our gaming companies have business all over the world. That's why they're still here. So what impact will Brexit have? Those that have to make adjustments for Brexit have already done them. If a firm came to me today and said, I'm worried about Brexit, I would think, well, what the heck have you been doing for the last 3 years? Because the bulk of them are good professional firms that have made all the arrangements they need to make for Brexit, which is now a couple of months away.